I'm Charbria Shine, and welcome back to Max Out Girl. Hi ladies, we are back with Max Out Girl. We have another Women in Business Spotlight. We have the amazing, and beautiful. Look at her, she's so beautiful. Yes, Tamera Fair. Hey girl,
Hey girl.
Okay, so she is an entrepreneur, she is a boss, she is everything. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
So, well, first of all, thank you for that fabulous introduction. I almost didn't know who I was, but I want to be her when I grow up.
You are.
Yeah, so literally I am a child of God. That's the first thing.
I love that. Yep.
And a lot of times people say, well, who are you? And we automatically go to what we do, and that is not exactly
who we are.
Yes.
I love that.
So I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a chain of childcare facilities in Chicago, North, South, East, and West. Mm-hmm. I have a book series that is a 5-part book series for children. And of course, it's like a shrine to my life's career and my passion with children, of course. And I'm also on the radio on Inspiration 1390.
What? Okay, that's awesome.
Daily. It's called The Brunch Bunch. It's every day at noon. And so the premise of the show is to dispense critical information like resources, grants, when it's flush, not when we get to the crumbs of it, which is what our communities usually get. And I'm also in real estate. So it's a lot of different things working in tandem with each other, if you will. Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
But I don't do anything I don't love.
So you love it all?
I love it all.
Oh man, that's important. I do love that you love it all, because I hear that a lot of times. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a passion, because when the obstacles come, you have to love what you're doing.
When they come.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
So you're like a major entrepreneur, boss woman. How did you get into entrepreneurship in the first place?
Well, I grew up, my aunt raised me. Now, my mother's alive and we have a great relationship, but my aunt raised me.
Okay.
And she was an entrepreneur. She owned several nursing homes. And when I mean nursing homes, people automatically think elder care, but it wasn't that. It was an intermediate facility for people who were re-entry citizens that were going back into society. But this was a opportunity for them to get reacclimated into society, if you will. And she also owned restaurants and hotels, motels, Holiday Inn. No, not really Holiday Inns, but it sounded good, right?
Right.
But anyway, so I would go to work with her from 5. I learned how to do a switchboard, and then she would take me to meetings with her, and I was like 15, 16. I'm in meetings with like real bosses.
So she's training you up.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
You know what? I didn't really realize that until I became interested and got that spirit. Like, you can get the acting bug, you can also get the entrepreneur bug.
I love that. So let's talk about that's legacy, because your daughter is also an entrepreneur.
Yes,
so
she
you're
is.
Like, you guys are building that legacy, and I love that, especially in our community, to start our kids not at 0, but to help grow upon what we've already learned and accomplished. So I love that. 5 years old?
5 years old.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. I taught my daughter how to drive at 9 years old. Literally.
How you get away with that? What was the situation?
Hey, look, you know, when you're a boss, you go past the limit. So she says to this day, like, I've been driving since 9, Mom. Really? Are you going to tell me, like, I got this?
She definitely got it. Yeah,
she got this.
That's amazing. So what made you do that? Was it just like, I want to make sure she's prepared by that time, that she needs to learn this skill?
Well, it was just us.
Okay.
You know, don't get me wrong. She has a father. We were married, but when we split up, it was just us. So I said, if one of us has to go to the hospital, and particularly me, who's going to take me?
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Preparation is key.
So now she's
that's that boss mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now she's a professional driver. Now I know she don't get paid for it, but she can do
drive.
It.
Ooh,
yes.
Come on, mama. So okay, so you said you learned entrepreneurship as a young girl, but when did it click? Like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. Did you have a series of jobs beforehand that you learned things from, or how did that work?
You know, my very first job, I was 13.
Okay.
And I worked at a school for special needs children. It's called Moglo. And I probably worked before I should have worked. Okay. Or not should have, could have.
Okay.
But somehow they got it so I could get a check.
Nice.
I liked getting checks.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But I didn't like the fact that they told me what to do to get that check.
Oh.
So I said, you know what? When I grow up, then I went to the theater, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
But I was late a lot because my grandmother taught me how to be late. But Then I went to Burger King, and Burger King is where I started to really understand the training that I was getting from my aunt, and then the spirit that I got from just life.
Okay.
I wanted to be a boss.
Nice.
There was a lot of grunt work. We had to clean the grease trap.
At
Even the
Burger King.
girls had to clean the grease trap.
Yeah.
That was arduous. I said the next time I come to Burger King, I'm going to be a boss.
Nice.
So I got that boss spirit, and it never stopped.
What? So from there, okay, so when you started working with children, did you love it then at 13, or no, it took a time before you?
I've always loved it.
You always
I've
loved
always
it.
loved it. I babysat when I was a kid for my relatives who had younger kids, and I've always loved it.
Wow.
I could see a kid, and I could just been in an argument, and it changed my whole scope, my whole,
Wow.
It's
I
a
love
passion.
that. I love that. And a lot of key things that I'm hearing from a lot of entrepreneurs is it was something that they already had that inclination or that love or passion for, or an issue that bothered them, just something that they're passionate about, and they end up fixing that problem.
Yes.
And I love that. And
Yes.
it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
You know, too, I was abused when I was a child.
Okay.
And that abuse turned into, I want to save children, because no one saved me.
Wow, that's powerful. So you turned around and used that trauma to help others, and that could maybe possibly be in that same situation.
Yeah, I like the way you put that.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I always say our pain isn't just for us. We go through it, it's unfortunate, but it's such a power when you can take that and be a blessing or help another generation.
Yep.
And I love that. That's amazing.
It was cathartic for me to go into a child care facility,
Okay.
watch young children who didn't have a voice, and I was that voice for them, and to just pour into them educationally, spiritually, and every lead that you can think of.
Yeah.
You have a malleable piece of clay in a child, and you are charged with being responsible for them.
Yeah.
And your responsibleness means that you also have to pour in them good seeds so that they can reap that harvest of good fruit.
I love that.
Thank you.
So was that the first thing when you had those homes for the kids, not the homes, the
Child care facility.
facility. Was that the first thing that kind of grew and took off in your entrepreneur journey?
Yep, that's the first
Really?
thing.
So how did you, if a person wants to start a business, how did you get that up and running? So you started one, because you have more than one now,
Yes,
correct?
now.
Okay. How did you get that to that next point? That's amazing.
So it's a funny story because one of my childhood friends' moms owned this facility, and she was a nurse by trade. So she would come there every day because childcare is everything but child's play. So she came there every day. And then she said she had been in it for 10 years. She was like, I need someone younger that's got a lot more energy than I have.
Yeah.
And I love Tamera, so let's see if she wants to do that.
Yeah.
And so I came and I was like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. This looks good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
This was right after college. And so when I entered into the daycare center, just all those kids came up to me. They were like, I was a superstar. Like, where else can you be a superstar right after college unless you, became one along your journey? And so she mentored me. She mentored me for a while, and then she just let the ropes go.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Because you're doing such a good job.
No, I wasn't doing such a good job. I was doing a terrible job.
Really?
But she was like, well, the job you're going to do is the job you're going to do. You're going to do it without me. I told you I was going to be here for 30 days. And on that 31st day, she was up like
She was like, I'm out. You figured it out.
Yes, you figured it out. She did me a favor, though.
Yeah.
Because I would have kept those training wheels on.
It pushed you.
It did.
Wow.
But I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest with you. I had a degree.
Yeah.
But my degree was in liberal arts. It was in English. It wasn't in early childhood. But I figured since I was a child at some point and I babysat, I could do it.
And
I didn't know about all those rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured if I loved them, taught them, everything would be great.
Yeah.
And then in comes DCFS.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yes.
Big drama?
Huge drama.
Wow.
Huge.
How did you overcome that?
Connections.
Okay.
Yes, that's the only thing I can say. God and connections.
Yeah.
And so it was, without going into that whole story, it was arduous, but it was training grounds. I never made those mistakes again.
I love that because I'm also an entrepreneur and I'm learning that now. Like sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you find out. And like you said, it could be tough, a tough lesson, but you're learning and you're going to grow, and you will never make that mistake again.
You're going to make new ones.
You're going to make new ones.
But you won't make that same one.
And I would say you just can't be afraid of failure and can't be afraid of making mistakes, because at first I was afraid of failure and afraid of making mistakes. Like I wanted to be perfect. I need to know everything I need to know before I start this. But you're not going to know everything you need to know before you start anything. It doesn't matter how trained you are, how educated you are. Some things you just don't know till you go through it, right?
Well, in education, you have to be willing to always be a learner.
Yeah.
And in entrepreneurship, you better be willing to always be a learner.
Yeah.
But embrace those mistakes.
Yeah. And things change so much with laws and rules and regulations. So you, like you said, you better learn, because if you miss one of those laws or don't do something you're supposed to do, it's going to be a big issue for you in your business. And I've learned that, and I'm learning, and it's like, okay. And like you said, you learned that when
the hard way.
The hard way.
Baby, the hard way. And you know, when I think about that, like, I'm talking really professionally, but when I think about that, I go to...
I'm about to say your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not sounding how you're talking right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, so you got through those humps. So you were just learning on the job, pretty much on-job training.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Yes, come on. Tell me.
When I first went into childcare, I was, like I said, just out of college. I would go to the club. I would leave the club at 4, go to my daycare center at 5, open it up at 6.
Wow.
Then I wanted to skate, but because I had so much to do, I put the skates on because I couldn't go to the skating rink. So I would skate around the school. I had my kids skating around the school.
You were doing it all.
I was doing it all.
That's hilarious.
But it was fun.
Why did you want to skate? You just like to skate?
I like to skate, but I wanted to go to the skating rink, but I couldn't because time constraints.
Because you're working.
Yes. So I figured out how to blend it.
That's cute. You're like, I'm going to get to do what I want to do, so we just going to make this happen.
Exactly.
I like that. You made it work. Okay, so entrepreneurship. So you did that. You learned through, I'm sure it was hard. It was tough.
Trial and error.
Trial and error, but you kept going. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I love that. But sometimes, you know, some of my listeners may feel like I don't know everything about what I want to start. I have a passion for it, but I just feel so uneducated, or I just feel like I'm not the right person for it. Of course, education. We should always educate ourselves. But what if a person's like, I don't have the degree for it, but I know I have the passion. I feel like I can do this. What would you say to that person?
I would say take that passion and catapult it into a learning experience. And if you want to go get a degree, you need to go get a degree. Get the degree. But on-the-job training is more invaluable than any degree you could ever obtain in a school. Because if you look at it, you got a degree, they taught you all the technical parts of it, right? But when you merge that with practical, sometimes they don't even look the same.
It's like night and day.
It is.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So it definitely would be a asset to have a degree, but do you have to have that first? No, you don't.
I love that.
But you do have to have that passion.
You got it. Let's talk about that a little bit. You better have that passion.
Well, it's like if I hire a person, right, I can give them skills.
Yeah.
But I can't give them passion.
You can't. Nope.
So if I can pour into you a skill set, then you can marry that passion with the skill set, and guess what? You'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, I love that. So with what I do, I have a productions company, and we do a lot of women's events, and we also do stage plays. So I write the stage plays, I act in them, I direct them. And so sometimes it's very interesting because even though I do have an arts background, but I don't have a degree in the arts, I actually have a business degree. But sometimes people always ask me, wouldn't you rather work with actors who, you know, have the theater degree? I'd work with anyone who fits the role, right? And who we vibe and I love, you know, it works out. But what I have found so far that sometimes a person who just has the raw talent and the passion for it
kills it.
Far outweighs that other person. And it's not always like that, so let me be clear, but for the most part, kills it.
Yes.
Kills it. Because I was so caught up in, like for me, I have an arts background. I went to Columbia College, but I wasn't able to finish there. So I had this misconception that I can't do this because I don't have the degree. Because I was on that track and didn't finish. So I'm not qualified. But then I realized it's just going after my passion. I was training since I was young. I've been doing it all my life. And some of those lessons and being all those shows and those events, you're learning. They're training you. You're getting the skills. So not that you, like, I still desired the piece of paper, but I went a different route and got a business degree. But I'm just learning sometimes, like you said, sometimes on-the-job training is a game changer.
It is.
Because even with my business degree, it's like night and day from me running my business. I'm just going to be honest. I'm glad I have it. but it's like night and day. Some of that
How
stuff.
many of those tools do you use from that degree in your everyday life?
Not a lot. Is
Yeah.
that bad to say?
No,
Not
it's
a lot.
honest. It's
I
honest.
learned more when I was just a young girl, and I was actually starting in retail management, just learning. I just started from just a young girl selling little clothes to just learning from my bosses and just growing and learning. And that's when I found out I had a knack for business. And hey, maybe this could be a thing for me. Never thought that. And that's how I ended up with that degree. But I learned so much from those amazing women that gave me a chance from just working hard. And I think it's just also diligence, because sometimes, you know, just being diligent in what we do, I would have never got promoted if I was just diligent in what I was doing. I wanted to learn. I was like a sponge. I wanted to learn something, because they were amazing women. I'm like, man, she's running this business. They're doing all these great things. And just to be in their presence, I'm like, I wanted to learn, and I soaked it up. And that was an education for me.
Well, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
That whatever your pathway was, whatever the process was, you are exuding black girl magic in every word that you say.
Thank you.
And you can tell that you are passionate about what you're doing, so it worked.
Thank you.
And it's going to continue to work. You're always in a steady state of learning.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I had to change my mindset, because that would bring me down all the time. Like, well, I didn't get the degree in this. That's the
Well, you know what? And people say that, and a lot of entrepreneurs come to me and say, well, I need advice. I need you to mentor me, blah, blah, blah. I have to go to school. I have to do this. There are all these steps prior to just jumping in.
Yeah.
But then I say, you know, Famous Amos had a 3rd grade education. 3rd. I'm not talking about 3rd in terms of college, like
You're
junior
talking about
and high
1,
school.
2, 3, elementary
1, 2,
school.
3. And he built a $1 million company.
Wow.
And he just passed away, and his company has outlived him. So his dream is going to continue to dream on.
That's a
so
blessing.
you can't listen to the naysayers. You have to listen to that inner God in you that tells you, I didn't give you God-like qualities for you to be and act like a non-goddess.
Yeah. I love that. You're right. Y'all hearing these nuggets, and ladies, I hope you checking it out. She's dropping them. I'm hoping you picking up what she's dropping.
I'm picking up. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, so that's amazing. So, okay, so let's move on.
Okay.
So you have the 6 amazing, did you say 6? How many daycares?
4 now.
4 now. Okay, 4 amazing daycares. But that's not it. You have a book.
Yeah.
Come on, tell me about this book.
Well, this book was inspired by just the whole entrepreneur childcare that we've been in for what? I don't even want to say.
Long
3
time.
decades. Yeah, I'll say
That's
that.
long time.
And so one day I said to my team, you know, we collectively, this is my admin team, collectively we have over 100 years of experience. We need to figure out how we can utilize this experience to do something that's outside of the classroom that will outlive us, but will still be impactful to children.
Yes.
So we thought about, well, we don't have enough melanin children in print. So let's do that. And of course, it's named after my daughter. The main character is named after my daughter. And the only person that showed up to that meeting that I call is now my co-author and my best friend.
Wow.
And so we decided
awesome.
that we were going to do 5 books, actually. So it's a 5-book series. Nice. It also has merchandising so that the characters can come to life for kids.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the turtle is a talking magical turtle. And it has been really effective in the special needs space.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because it gives them a comfort zone.
I love that. So you said 6 books?
5.
5 books. Wow, where can they get the books?
Everywhere the books are sold.
What? Let
So
me check
Barnes
it out.
and Noble,
Come on, check this
Amazon, the Purple Turtle, Modi's Magical Adventures.com. That's the website. Everywhere their books are sold. And what I love about the books is not just the storyline, but the characterization and the illustrations are so pigmented that it just jumps off
They're
the
beautiful.
page.
Yeah, I love bright colors and vivid, and
Yep.
this is awesome. Yeah, look at this is amazing. So this stems from working with children. Wow, that's amazing. And so what else do you do?
Well, let me just say one more thing
Yeah.
about this. One of the gaps in education now, particularly early childhood education, is that now we're seeing kids coming in at 5 months old. They're swiping. So they're swiping other people's imagination. And
They don't have their own.
we wanted to give them a launch pad to create their own.
You know what I heard someone say the other day? They said when we were growing up, we were able to be bored. And that boredom helped us to be creative.
Yep.
And so songs were created, paintings, colorings, games, just the creativity of a child and that imagination. So I really do understand, because I feel like my generation was the last generation. We didn't grow up with phones. So I just feel like I got a phone when I was 16. So that's kind of when, about 15, when they were coming out for me. And I was very creative. I mean,
apparently, apparently you were very creative.
I wrote songs and poetry and little books and just, I mean, made up dances, and it was just a fun time. We played outside, we had games. Yeah, we watched movies and stuff, you know, but it wasn't consuming our every thought, you know, and so, you know, I was thinking, I don't have children yet, but I was thinking when I do, I'm going to make sure that they have an imagination.
And a space to create it.
Yes. Because, so that's awesome. I love that. And it's very needed for
yes,
sure
it is.
in this space. So, love it. Thank
it's
you so much for
doing good
creating
too. We're
it.
excited about it.
Yeah, doing good. I love it. How long ago was this produced?
This first book was produced 1 year ago. Now the second book just came out too.
Oh wow.
Be Brave.
We're moving fast. That's good.
We're trying.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're trying.
So how do you balance work-life balance? Because you also, before we started this podcast, told me that you're into real estate as well, and you're into some other things. So for the Max Out Girl, we told her to maximize your potential in every area of your life. Sometimes that could be overwhelming for us as women, because I feel like we can be selfless. We're pouring out, but what about us? And I always say you can't pour out from an empty cup. So how do you manage, or how do you do all this?
Time management is essential when you're doing multiple things, but also that passion, because if you don't like what you're doing, you won't do it with zeal and vigor. You'll do it begrudgingly, and you'll see it in the outpour. And then you'll start to feel drained. I never really feel drained. I have felt drained, and then I go and charge.
Okay.
But in the mornings, I take my time. Like
I love that.
I listen. Like this is almost new. Like literally, I listen to Audible. I listen to the gospel according to Luke, according to Matthew. I'm on John, so I listen to that.
So you're a believer?
I'm definitely a believer. And when you think about the awesomeness that we are engaged in, there's no other reason, no other rhyme or reason that there's a God that loves us. For us, authentically and individually. So so that's the pour in. But then every day, you know, if even if it's 5 minutes, if I'm riding in the car or whatever, even if it's for 5 minutes, I give thanks, and that thanks gives me encouragement to move and do more. Like Michelle Obama said, just do something. Do something you like.
That's good.
Do something that's essential.
I love that, because sometimes we forget ourselves.
That's right.
And even if you have to pencil it in, ladies, maybe you have a calendar, pencil yourself in. Like, I think it's so important, because I used to be a workaholic. So just work. And then I realized, you know, that's a strong woman. I'm a strong woman. I'm going to keep. No. You can be strong and pour into yourself. You need to have that moment, those moments of just peace, and those moments of filling up and just R&R, you know, loving on you. And it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. So I love that.
Well, can I ask you, can I challenge you?
Sure, go ahead.
To pen it in instead of penciling it in? Pen in you.
Yes.
Because you can erase you.
Oh, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I love that.
Pencil yourself.
Yeah, I have to put it in my Google Calendar. Because if I write it at all.
There you go.
It's probably going to get scratched out, yes. And my husband, he always pushes me to because I'm old school, I like books. I like pen and paper. So I'm always writing all this stuff out, and I have been saying, I'm so overwhelmed. I was like, girl, look you got stuff everywhere. Like, let's get this organized. And so I just realized you said time management. It helped my time management. All of those things, when I start focusing on those things, the anxiety went away. I'm like, so this is self-created anxiety, because I could just get organized.
Yes.
That's it.
This is how I started time management, because first I was all over the place. In your phone, and I don't think we realize what a great device our phones are. In your phone, you have a schedule. You know, like you said, I Google it in. If you actually give yourself a allotted time and alert, you will be surprised at the end of the day how much more time you have.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you said something funny about books. My daughter says I slaughter books.
What, like write in them?
I bend them. Like I want to bend it back. And because she is a book, she has a bookstore.
Yeah.
She's like, Ma, like literally, you're causing me stress. Stop that. Like
I'm
you're
like
writing
you.
Yeah, I love
I like
that.
to highlight
I
my
do
little
too.
notes, put a little sticky note in there.
Exactly.
I mean, you want to go back and see this chapter, what did I get out of this? Or what epiphany came to me while I was reading it?
Her books she could resell her books after she reads them.
Oh, that's amazing. I wish I could do that. Nobody wants to see my book after I'm
She
done.
doesn't, just so you know. She sells them authentically new.
Yeah.
But she could.
Wow. Yeah, me and my husband, we try to share a book. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
He's neat with it, and I'm like, by the time I look at it, I know he hates it. It has pink all in it and pink this and that, just everything. And he's like, I mean, he reads it. I don't know if it's annoying to him. It would be annoying to me because he keeps his books so.
Yeah.
And I'm just all over with it. But,
Me too.
but that's okay. We love in our books.
That's right.
We put some love into the experience, right?
Well, you know what? Books, I didn't really understand the value of books like I do now. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've always been a reader. I've always been a writer. But I didn't really understand the value of books until my daughter turned me on to self-help books. And those self-help books, which I repealed for probably years.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't gonna read no self-help book. I'm gonna help myself.
They ended up being good, didn't they?
No, they ended up being amazing.
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows you how to pour back into yourself.
I love them. Yeah. So where can they find you? If they want to follow you, if they want to find more about you?
I would love to increase my followers. Tammy T Fair, that's Tammy T Fair, that's on Instagram, and then Tamera Fair on Facebook. My Facebook page is maxed out. Y'all help me max out my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Tammy T Fair. You know what? I do a live on the show every day. And
Tell them about your show. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm on Inspiration 1390, and
Okay.
it's a segment called The Brunch Bunch. We're on at noon every day.
Okay.
And so, like I said, that I explained the premise of it, but we do a live every day because on the social media, it's exclusive for social media. Some topics are exclusive for social media.
Okay.
Like today, we talked about what did you do in your childhood that really resonates with you and you don't do it in your adulthood. For me, it was grabbing fireflies and making the jewelry, right?
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And it took me to a nice place. It took me to a headspace that really made me happy. But that was just exclusive.
Yeah.
And so, but on the show, you can get it on your radio, you can get it all over the world because it's iHeart, and you can download that iHeart Radio app, and you can go wherever you want and take me with you.
Yeah, so support, check it out, ladies. You heard she spit some knowledge. She has some wisdom, so you want to check it out. Definitely support as well. So thank you so much for coming on our show. This is amazing.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you, too.
Thank you.
To do everything that you do and still look like you look.
So
Let me tell you something. Don't ever stop being fine or kind.
I mean, look at you. Come on.
Oh my God.
Y'all check her out. Yes. So support her. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been so much fun.
To me too. Thank you.
I also interviewed your daughter earlier.
Yes.
So she's amazing.
You know what? When you interviewed my daughter, I feel like I was Barack coming behind Michelle. Like literally.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
You were amazing. No. You guys are both amazing.
Thank you.
Right? The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You know what they say. So,
Well, I'm very proud.
Yes.
Very
so,
proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, guys, check her out. Support her. You know where you can follow her. Check out her show. And also, you can follow me on Host Charbria Shine on all social media podcasts. Also, Max Out Girl. And this will be on YouTube, but also you can check it out where all podcasts can be heard. So, we hope that we said something that encouraged, inspired, and elevated your thinking. And always remember to max out, girl. I'm Charbria Shine. Talk to you next time. Bye.